Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen that's going around the social media is the 10-year challenge. Now unfortunately with me, I don't have a lot of photos from 10 years ago and a lot of them, I kind of still look the same other than I kind of shaved my hair and features have outgrown themselves. But I thought it'd be fun to collaborate and combine two ideas that are out there. So the 10-year challenge, as well as the power of makeup. So if you guys are new and you don't know what the power of makeup is, the power of makeup pretty much is doing half of your face with makeup and half of your face is left blank to show how the power of makeup works. Now, since 10 years ago I wasn't wearing makeup, I thought I can put the two and two together and do half my face with makeup and half my face without makeup, but with a little bit of makeup, because back then I didn't really necessarily have the full setup like I do now. I was just kind of like sneaking into my mom's bathroom and taking a little bit of her foundation and seeing whatever she had and pretty much making it work. And from what I remember, it was a lot of powder foundation, and I don't use powder foundation anymore. I'm all about the liquid life. However, I recently discovered a new launch from Maybelline. So I don't know if you guys already know, Maybelline has a really great collection called the Superstay. So I used the Superstay foundation before and it was supposed to be the dupe for the Huda Beauty. So it's supposed to be full coverage, last all day. Actually, I have the bottle. Give me a second. So the bottle it looked like this. It was the 24-hour Superstay liquid foundation. And I was in the shade 130 Buff Beige. Now it says that it claims to be full coverage, up to 24-hour, seamless matte finish, breathable and comfortable, and fade and transfer resistant. Now I did really like this just because starting off into makeup, it was a great full coverage option for me. Normally now I'm going for maybe the medium to full coverage, but back then I just jumped right into it. So I'm going to do half my face, like I said, with a full beat side of my makeup, my full glam, and then this side I'm gonna just do a very light coverage of the new Maybelline powder foundation. Now this one I'm in 220, so we're gonna try that and see how that goes, and then I guess we'll just work from there. So I'm gonna start off with going in with a brush. I've already primed and prepped my face, so everything is already ready for the application. So I'm just gonna go in with that. And today we're gonna be using Fenty Beauty's Pro Filter Foundation. Now I wish this could have also been like a 1-year challenge, because I started picking up makeup, or seriously picking up makeup, a year ago. I got drunk one day at my house and I was like, let's go to Shoppers, which if you guys have been watching my videos, you guys know where that is. And I just picked up a bunch of drugstore products. I didn't know what was working for me. I didn't know what would work for me. And I just went in, got a bunch of shit, came home, quickly realized what worked and what didn't work. And from there, my journey developed and grew. So now, if we want to look, I have a tray of all these testers and all these ideas that I wanted to try and all these different products that I thought would work on my skin. But clearly it doesn't. Like this color right here, I don't know how I thought I was an M40 warm nude, but practice makes perfect. So today, like I said, we're gonna go in with the Pro Filter. This shade I'm in is 190. If you guys seen my videos previously, I was 230, but that was in the summertime. My tan has faded, so now I have dropped down to 190. So like I said, I use a brush now, and I find using a brush, especially for me, I have a really big nose here. As you guys can see, it kind of puffs out right there. And normally last year when I would do it, I would just use a beauty blender, and when I would punch it into my skin, I found that it left a gap, and that really bothered me. And now when I use a brush, I can quickly just paint it into the seams that I have missed or that my beauty blender won't reach, and then I kind of get into all the nooks and crannies. So we're gonna do that, and I'll show you guys how it looks. But yeah, like I said, I started picking up makeup a year ago and I really honestly enjoy it. I really wish I picked it up a long time ago, but I grew up in a very homophobic family and they're not really super supportive, to be honest, to your dreams and what you want to do. They're really just kind of like, do what we tell you to do kind of parents. So because of that, I didn't really express myself a lot. I love expression and I was always that type of kid in school and I was very lively and bubbly and I loved singing. I loved the arts. I loved everything in that world. But growing up in my family, you can't really express yourself that much or you'll get in trouble in more ways than one. So I kind of stereotypically what they would say, I went into the closet and I kind of hid away of all my bubbly characteristics and everything I love to do. Flash forward to now that I've moved out and I'm living on my own, I've gotten the opportunity to actually do the hobbies and do the things that I normally wouldn't be able to do in my house. And because of that, I picked up makeup. And I love it just because also when I was younger, I guess I wasn't really good at art. Even though all my girlfriends were like super anime drawers and manga creators and like they just were really talented. And me, I just really love observing them and I always wanted to be, I don't know, skillful like that, to be able to just draw and make such beautiful works out of nothing. But that was until I picked up a paintbrush and I started painting on myself. And with eyeshadows at least, just blending the colors together, it really is beautiful to the point where now when I like, especially if my biggest inspiration is the sky, if that makes sense. Like in the summertime in Vancouver, sometimes at least last year, you would get like like sherbet skies where it was like pink and yellow and like some dark magentas, and it was so beautiful that it inspired me a lot to see how can I incorporate this into my looks, or how can I now start incorporating colors into my looks. And I'm actually really thankful because of that. That was my problem, I guess, in art, or when I would take art classes, I didn't know what matched, or I didn't know how to make two things work. But then when it's on your skin and you're walking around town and people are judging you, you're gonna make it work. So because of that, I actually found my talent in doing eyeshadow colors, and I'm gonna show you guys what I do, because I didn't think I was that good until like a lot of my girlfriends would be like, wow, how did you do that? Or can you do that for me? And now it turns out maybe I'm pretty good at it. So I'll teach you my little tips and tricks and then we'll go from there. So as you can see, my face has now been properly, well, half my face has been applied. And you can see with the brush, all the nooks and crannies of my smile line, my nose, my eyebrow, those have all been kind of covered up properly. And then now I'm gonna go in with the brush, or with the sponge, and I'm gonna tap that out. Just to seamlessly blend it out more and give you that airbrush look. Now I used to use a stippling brush, and I used to use this e.l.f. blending brush. I still use this now, but I use it for something else. I use it to contour with, believe it or not. But now I literally just use one little angled concealer brush and a sponge, and you'll get a really natural airbrush seamless look. So as you guys can see, this face is still raw and exposed, and this face just looks a little bit more covered up. And I want to go with the medium to full coverage, so I'm not gonna apply more. If you wanted to, you definitely can add maybe a little layer on top of this, build it up to what you're liking, and then go from there. Now, Rihanna says that this foundation takes time to set, not necessarily oxidizes, but if you guys notice, it did look a little bit lighter on my skin when I first applied it, but as I'm talking, you can see that it's starting to melt into my neck and then blend together. Which is why I love this foundation, but you really have to go a shade lighter if you're not sure what shade you should be. So now that that's on my face, I'm gonna go in with a contour stick. Before, I used to contour with powders, and I would go in. And I would go in And it would work, I think, because I would powder the rest of my face very lightly so that it kind of blended together. But now no one has time for that. It has to be a little bit quicker. So I got myself one of these Wet n Wild sticks. Very comparable to the NYX contour sticks and the NYX one are my two favorites just for drugstore use. I haven't really had an opportunity to try anything from Sephora yet that's a stick formula. Maybe I'll try that next. But with the stick, I'm just gonna go in with the darker shade here. As you can see, I've used it a lot. I really like this one. And I already have a natural cut in my cheek line, but I'm just gonna follow that and intensify it. So I'm gonna start from where my hair stops and then draw the line down. Now you can be very intense with this. Like, I remember when I started makeup like a year ago, it was someone, like, I forgot who it was, taught me to do like a triangle shape. I was like, thinking about that now is ludicrous because I have no idea how I blended that out. Because even with this, you can see a little goes a long way. So I'm gonna now get my blending brush, like I said earlier, and I'm just gonna work in an up and down motion just to blend that into my hairline. Don't be afraid to get it in your hairline because I used to not do that and there was a clear separation of my foundation and my hairline. That's not a cute look. So we're not gonna do that today and we're gonna go right into our hairline. So just with light motions, and that's another thing too, light motions. I used to be very angry, I guess, when I was doing makeup back then. I remember when my girlfriends used to laugh at me because she was like, you're doing it so aggressively. But now I realize just a light hand really works because before I would go too heavy and sometimes I would like peel off my foundation. So we're not gonna go for that look today. We're gonna go for a nice soft look. Now I'm gonna also hit my forehead here just to kind of bring that down. And you guys can see when I got up to my forehead and my hairline, I kind of went into circular motions at this point. Just to really blend it and have it very seamlessly incorporated with your skin and your hairline. So as you guys can see already, that has made a warmth in my skin. It kind of brought it, I gave it a little bit more of a definition. You guys can see already though on like I already have that natural contour. So I just want to intensify it slightly. Just to make it more snatch. Now that that's all together, I like putting the contour on after my foundation because now I can work with my concealer. And should I went a little too heavy-handed and maybe blend it upward too high or too low, I can now correct it. So next we're gonna go in with Fenty Beauty's Pro Filter Concealer. If you guys haven't guessed it already, I am a huge fan of this line. I'm a huge fan of this product. So we're gonna now conceal and highlight on this side of my face, and I'm going to show you how I do it. It's just one spool out. Normally before I would draw, like I said, triangles. I don't know what it was with makeup, but it was triangles everywhere. I used to do a triangle from here to like here. And I still see some people doing that, and I just find, I don't understand, like I feel like it's taking too much time in blending, where you can go like this and draw a smaller triangle and achieve an even more natural finish, and it's still extremely brightening and extremely full coverage. So that's all I'm gonna do there. Boom. I'm gonna cut out my my jaw. Just like that. So if you guys accidentally blend it too much or it's a little too heavy-handed, like I said, you guys can just quickly erase that. I'm gonna do my butt chin right there. I'm gonna do my smile line and then down the middle of my nose and the side of my face. Now with this concealer, you can go one or two ways, or three ways actually. Normally, I like to do a beauty blender. And the reason being with the beauty blender, I find with other concealers I've used, they were, when you leave it like this, how I'm leaving it now talking, it got too tacky. And when it got tacky, blending it out with like a brush or blending it out with your finger may not have been the best way of moving it around. So with a beauty blender, because it was tacky, I felt like it would pick up on the beauty blender, and then as you're dabbing it out, it kind of blended it seamlessly through. You would have to blend hard, but it worked. So with this formula, it's very creamy, and you can use a brush, and when you use a brush, you're pushing it into your pores and pushing it into your skin, and it really is staying intact, and it's not going to crease out, or it's not going to what's it called? Not be brightening, if that makes sense. Like, it's not going to leave your skin. It's going to stay there. So I like to use a little brush, and this is kind of like a spot foundation brush, and then blend that into my skin. Even if there's like a harsh line anywhere, you can always go in with the little brush and then blend that out. And that's what I'm going to do, and you guys are going to see that. So I always like to push my concealer first into the corner of my eye, and then work down my nose, whichever side that I started on first, because I'm always going to conceal my nose, just to do that already reverse contour, I guess. And then from there, I'm going to now draw out that triangle from the bottom, and then now push the rest of it into my under eye. And I like to work in that setting. And then you can see then now I'm just slowly pushing it out to the outer rims of my face. So it looks a little more natural. And then at this point, any parts that are like, has any sort of visible line or type of separation, I'm going to now just move my brush in and out and blend those two together. Same thing on my nose. Just so everything blends seamlessly. Then now I'm going to work on my nose. Now my nose, for some reason, is always really red, so I always have to put concealer on twice. Because I find that the first time I put it on, it kind of just conceals the redness, and then afterwards it's still kind of showing, if that makes sense. I don't know. I have to put it on twice usually, just so I can really cover it up. Same thing, I just like to work in up and down motions. I'm really just pushing it into my pores. I found this concealer is very pore minimizing. Like when I tried it on my hand, I tried to find a spot in my hand where it was the most predominantly large pores, and then I started pressing it into my skin, and the parts where I pushed in the hardest, it made it disappear. Where everywhere else I kind of blended, you can sort of see the pores still. So I really like how you get that option of full coverage or medium coverage. So now that I have that all blended out, I'm going to go in with the Beauty Blender again, and I'm going to go into all the lines, and I'm just going to blur those out, just to soften everything up so it's not too harsh. Okay, so now the next step we're going to do is we're going to bake, and I'm going to keep it in the Pro Filter family, and I'm going to bake with the Fenty. Since I changed foundation colors, and I went with butter. Boom. So now that we let that bake, I'm going to now work on my eyebrows. I actually have a weird story. As a kid, when I was younger and living in Vietnam, for the summer, my dad had a razor, and I was really fascinated by that. And I don't know what came over me, but I took it and I shaved off my eyebrow as a kid. And I want to say that was a blessing, because they've grown back to be so full and thick and exactly what's on trend. So baby Kevin knew exactly what he was setting himself up for, because my brows now are beautiful. And all I really have to do is just connect the bottom here and then draw 1 or 2, 3 lines, and then boom. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. And no, I do not recommend anyone go shave off your eyebrows now, unless you're a Jeffree Star fan stan and you know how to draw them back on, then do that. But if you don't know how to draw them back on, do not shave them off, hoping they're gonna go back. Okay, so I probably should be getting a new one. I've already hit pan on this, but I'm a type of consumer that likes to use the products until it's completely done. I don't know. So I'm just gonna continue using this. It is almost done, so I probably will try something else. I kind of want to try the new Desi Perkins collaboration brow pack thing, because it looks really cool. But I'm just gonna, in the meantime, go in with a liner brow brush by Kuo. I don't know. And then draw on my brow. And see, the beauty of the power of makeup is you're just doing one side of your face. So very easy, very quick. So I like to dip my brush into it and then just scrape off any excess so it's not too kloopy. And then from here, I'm gonna try to zoom you guys in just so you can see the eyebrow. And I'm just gonna do, I usually try to do like 2 to 3 lines and then connect it, so. You guys can sort of see that, yeah? And then if I'm feeling extra bougie and I have the skills for it, I'll try to draw a line in between them, but I normally mess it up, so I probably won't. I'm just gonna connect it. And then from here, connect there, and then just pretty much shape out the point. Now I'm trying to find a new eyebrow shape though, just because I want it more rounded around here. I'm not sure yet, but whatever. If you guys have any ideas, let me know down below, because your girl has been trying to find something new, but it's kind of hard. Kind of hard, but it's okay. I like that. See? Boom. And then from here, just kind of like color in the ends just to deepen that, to really show everyone else that you're a boss ass bitch and you don't give no shits. You know what I mean? So from here, now I'm going to go in with a spoolie. So I went on Amazon and I bought a brush set, a synthetic brush set for like, I think $12, and the brand was called like Emax or something. And it came with this cool spoolie brush, and I kind of really like it because it works really well. So I'm just gonna use that, and I'm going to brush out my eyebrow, just so you will see how less intense it will look, if that makes sense. And then sometimes I like to go back with the brush and then just kind of hit, just to define a few more hairs, if that makes sense. And then one last comb through, and then I'm gonna clean it up with concealer. I'm gonna just go in with a random flat brush. It's cute. So I try not to put too much concealer on my brush, just because like sometimes I see people try to define and cut out their eyebrow and then you see that harsh line. And I'm like, baby girl, blend it out. So I'm just gonna blend it out. But with less product you have, the less you really have to blend. And boom, now I have an eyebrow. As you guys can see the difference, it just kind of like, obviously it made it darker, it defined it a little bit more, and just filled in any of the sparse holes that are in my brow. So let me take you guys back out. And then now we're gonna go in with this e.l.f. foundation brush. Now, it was supposed to be a liquid foundation brush, but I actually like how the angle of it is angled, so then you can just kind of dab it right under your eye. So I use it mainly for a powder brush. And boom. Now you can see my face. One side of my face is just flawlessly Fenty, and then the other one is basic. So now I'm going to show you guys how I do my eyes. This is something that I get requested a lot. So since it's just going to be power of makeup, it'll be one eye, a lot easier and faster to do, and I'm going to show you guys how I do it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys how I do my eyes, and normally when I'm doing my makeup, I like to listen to music. So I'm just going to have music playing in the background right now just because now I'm going to be focusing on my eye. This is a song by Shay Skeety. Shay Skeety, she is fucking fire. If you haven't heard of her yet, I don't know what rock you've been living under or why haven't you been watching younger-ish. Let's be real. But she is phenomenal. Her music is real and it speaks truly to my heart at least. And I want you guys to all listen to her because I know she's gonna blow up. And when she does, you guys are gonna regret you weren't there at the beginning. So check her out. This is I Know, because she knows. So thank you, Shay. You're the best. So for eye looks, myself personally, I like to do red tones just for my Asian skin. I find it looks the most powerful. I mean, blue looks, like any type of really crazy eye looks look good, let's be real. But I like to do a nice red look. I find it matches a lot of my wardrobes and it just works. So I'm gonna go in with this new palette I picked up from Makeup Revolution. And it's called the Reloaded palette. Now, the reason why I picked it up was it's very similar to the NYX Ultimate Phoenix palette that I picked up. And I wanted to see for the price if it would be better. So maybe I'll do a comparison for the two. But today we're gonna go in, and I'm gonna go in with these two first, and I'm gonna start with cutting out and creating a smoky eye. So I'm gonna go in with this color and this color. Now this may look a little cray-cray, but just trust me first. So now I'm gonna go in with these two colors here. And I'm gonna start with drawing. Like, you guys see how like I have, where my eyelid is, I have that natural line. I'm gonna follow that line. So you guys see how I'm just really emphasizing that crease and I'm drawing a really dark line. And I know this looks crazy, but you'll see what I'm gonna do. Okay, you guys see that? And then now I'm gonna go in with a fluffy domed shadow brush. Now I'm gonna go in with a lighter color. So maybe this one right here, just because it has a little bit more of a red undertone. This one has a little bit more of a peachy undertone. So I'm gonna go and just dab my brush into there. Tap off the excess and then start blending that out. Now I like to start blending it and then blend it downwards first, not necessarily making it a transition color yet. So you'll see what I mean. So I'm gonna start from my corner here and then circular motions. I'm going to work that in. Make sure to keep your eye relaxed because you don't want to like raise it and then like when you drop it everything goes away. So I like to lean my head back a little bit, especially for me. And my eye shape, and then start blending that out. And like when I would like before watch people do makeup tutorials, I would hear them say like, when I feel like there's no product left on the brush, I would work in, and I'm like, how do you feel if there's no product left? But after doing it a bunch of times, you kind of start to feel like, I would say after like 20 circular motions, you've probably left, or all the product has probably left your brush, and now you're just kind of working with the product on your eye, and at that point is when I start to blend it out into my eyelid. And then you will be able to see it too, like you'll start to see the transition happen. And that's when you know you're doing good. So I'm just gonna keep my eye relaxed. Especially with me too, I have like I have a lot of skin on my eye. So sometimes if I'm not keeping my eye relaxed enough and I, for example, go like this and brush my eye, all of a sudden there will be one harsh line there because my skin was in the way, if that makes sense. So I always try to be very soft and gentle when I get to the inner corner of my eye. Any celebrity that like music pops up on my channel, if you guys would be very kind to not sue me, I would be very grateful. Thanks. Okay, you guys see how now it blended very seamlessly, and so should I brush it over, it's not going to have that harsh line that I was talking about. So now I just like to do windshield wiper motions and go back and forth, especially in my crease line. And then you guys see how like by doing the technique I did at the beginning, it already naturally created that dark undershadow. And now I don't have to go and do a dark shadow on top of that, or it may be ruining it, if that makes sense, or not blending it properly. Where this, if you feel like it's not right, you just keep blending because the dark color is already underneath and you're just blending that light color on top. So that's what I'm gonna just continue to do. Okay, so now that that red has blended out into my eye, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of an orange color and start blending that with my skin up here. I'm gonna use the same brush and I'm gonna just dip into the orange here. Now I feel I might have went a little heavy-handed with that, but that's okay because you can always fix things. And now how I'm going to show you that is I'm going to now take a lighter color, preferably like a white cream, and now I'm going to start blending that on the outer side. You can always make things work, girl. And then you see how like that harshness earlier just kind of now is starting to fade and start to become, I wouldn't say airbrush, but it starts to just blend together more naturally. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with another fluffy brush. I'm going to go in with an orange and then go back. And then you'll see how, because I am created that white cast, or I wouldn't say white cast, but the white blend, it will look very blended. Watch. Okay. So now that you guys seen how intensified it, but now there is just that natural blend and that great airbrush blend, I'm going to quickly go in one more time with the red tone and then just hit my lid with that, just to really intensify it further. And then after this, I'm going to cut that crease, add a bit of glitter, and then we'll go from there. So because my eye here is real, like I have like triple eyelid, my crease is gonna cut pretty high, so. That's a good amount. And now to cut my crease out, I actually decided I'm going to go in with my Buxom palette. I'm going to go with the Rose Gold Shimmer. And we're going to see how that works. So I'm going to go in with the brush earlier that I used to cut with. And I'm just going to dab that into the shadow and I'm going to cut with that. I think that might be fun. Let's see. I didn't really do anything. Yeah, I'll try my finger. So it just made the concealer color become rose gold, which was not bad. Creates a nice little transitional moment. And now I'm going to go in with the Huda Beauty palette. And go to my trusty Cosmo. And pack that on. Because Cosmo never fails when I'm doing a red eye. For fun, while I'm adding glitter, I'm going to go in with the Fenty Beauty how many carats and intensify that just further. What I like about this type of glitter, it makes your eye look wet. And I'm really into that kind of wet look. You see that? It's just kind of like, I'm gonna just quickly blend that into the side as well. Cute. Fun. So now I'm gonna do a little bit of an eyeliner action, some falsies, and then we'll go from there. So I bought this off Amazon as well, and this is called Evap. And it's an eyeliner stamp. So one side has a stamp, whilst the other side has a brush. Now I know some of you might say this is cheating, but if you need a quick, very, very quick wing look in a matter of no time, this will be it. So I'm going to quickly show you how I do mine. So you start with the stamp. And what I like about it is because you can choose the direction that you want your wing to go in. Mind you, sometimes I still am off a little bit, but not as off I would be if I was just using the normal NYX eyeliner that I use. So I'm going to just angle this slightly on a diagonal angle here. Stamp it on, you guys see that? Okay. And then yes, maybe you guys want a longer or a thicker, you guys can still do that. This just kind of creates that base. And then now, just extend it a little further. And then I'm gonna go into the inside and start working it out. Do you guys see how easy that was? That was literally nothing. And with this though, I've noticed it's not as dark as I would like it to be, which is fine, because now I'm going to go in with my trusted NYX Epic eyeliner, and I'm going to use that to fill in everything. And because of that, it's just going to really intensify it. And I'm just going to let that dry, just because I have a lot of flaps on my eye. I don't want it to transfer, because that's my curve. I mean, I could quickly look for and get a black. I'm going to use this black just to... Okay, boom. And now that I have my eye kind of on, I'm going to quickly zoom you guys out. And then work on my powder contour the rest of my face, and then put my lashes on, and then we'll be finished. For blush, we're going to go in with Physicians Formula Butter Blush in Vintage Rogue. I'm just going to generously apply that, just because I find this a little powdery. Do a little smile. Bring that cheek out, that flirtiness. And then I'm going to go in with my bronzer brush from Real Techniques. And I'm going to go in with the NYX Contour Kit. I'm going to go in with this and this. Or no, sorry, this and this. And a little bit of that. I'm going to dab that away. I like to always dab it on my hand first. And then work that into my face. Okay. Oh, with that same palette, I like to use this highlight just because it's more of a white highlight, and make that as a base for everything else, because I'm not white, so it's gonna be too noticeable if I put this on last. So I like to do layers of highlight. Okay, just to glow it up, warm up the glow. And then now I'm gonna go in with Maybelline's Master Chrome. I love this one. This one is bananas. Same brush, tap off the excess and work in circular light motions. The tip or at the point of my cheek. And then we work in like a little bit of a C. Down the nose, top of the nose. I love highlighting my chin. don't know why. I just like having that uniform, like, so I'm gonna go with that. And then I'm gonna go in with Fenty Beauty. How Many Carats with my finger. Just slightly dab that on to really get that glow going. And then blend that in with my brush. Some of you may think there's too much highlight. Those, shut and subscribe. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with some lashes and then spray my face together and we'll go. Now I'm still using these one pair of lashes that my friend got for me. She said she got this on AliExpress and I love it just because it's really, really fluffy. One brand I'm super excited for is Natalie Nunn's lashes. Girl, we have Natalie lashes dropping, I don't know when, but she said before Valentine's Day, so hook your girl up because she's gonna be the mistress and I'm so excited. It's just, I love fluffy lashes. Your girl has no lashes, so to be putting on luscious, thick, beautiful lashes, it's a godsend. So I'm just gonna go in with these lashes, go in with Revlon's eyelash glue. Just do a little thin layer. And then let it dry for a few seconds and then place it on my eye. While that dries, I'm gonna go in with my setting spray. I'm just gonna set this side of my face. I just love the moment you put a spray or you spray it on and then you can just see all of the powders blend together seamlessly. Means you did something right. And this is the boring side. But that's okay, because I'm going to quickly show you this foundation. And typically I would have been a darker shade in high school, but I couldn't find a darker shade that I had anywhere in my house, so I'm just going to use this one. Now that that has dried, I'm just going to quickly place it on my eye. Now everyone's really different on their application on how they put their eyelashes on. A lot of the people I know use a tweezer. That has never worked for me. I like to hold it and connect from one end first and then slowly let it cling on to my eye. And then from there, I kind of like blink and then just kind of like push it upwards a little bit. Make sure it's really in there. And then when it's not moving or I find that it's tacky enough to manipulate, that's when I will kind of push it into my eyelash a little bit, if that makes sense. Or the crevice. Not too far, but just enough that it's naturally sticks. And boom, you see that? Snatch. So, now that this side is full glam beauty without a lippy, I haven't forgotten that. I'm now gonna go in on my other side of the face how I would have done this in high school, because I would have taken my mom's, pretty sure it was like a Chanel palette, or like, I'm pretty sure it was a Chanel palette, and obviously me being a brand whore that I am, I thought Chanel would be amazing. So I just took it, put it on my skin, went to school, did not give a fuck. And yeah, regret it a lot. So now in the future Kevin's a lot smarter. I found my shade. This is 220 Maybelline Superstay Powder Full Coverage Foundation. And I'm going to show you guys how on a quick everyday base now, if I just need to go quickly to the grocery store or quickly anywhere, this is going to be my go-to for a touch-up or just for a full face. Normally, I would go to the grocery store looking like this, which I don't hate, and I'm pretty sure no one else hated, but it did take a little bit of time out of my day. So I'm gonna just go in with my sponge here. Now this here, it claims it's 16-hour powder foundation, full coverage with long-lasting matte finish. Lightweight and convertible, fade and transfer resistant, and it controls the shine. So, let's see. So I already tried this and I liked it, I'll be honest. So I just did a little dabby dab dab. I'm gonna first go on my neck here, or my jawline. Just gonna show you guys, like, I don't know, maybe I found my perfect match, because this just like is my perfect skin tone. And I like how, like, I tried other powder formulas like in high school, like I said, and from what I remember, it would always be too cakey and it would look too flaky and powdery. And obviously it wasn't my skin tone, so it didn't match. But this one, it's interesting how when I put it on my skin, I find that it's melting into my skin, and then it kind of becomes a layer of my skin. Now, I didn't try this and set it with any spray yet, so I'm curious to see how this works. Now, I know most of you guys would be like, oh, you're doing this wrong, stop typing. I know I'm supposed to put like concealer on first, but in high school I didn't know how to do that. So this is how I would have done my face 10 years ago. So you guys see how it did cover up my skin pretty well. I mean, there's still sort of some pigmentation and imperfection on my skin that's visible. But I'm sure if you were to build that up, you would be able to cover it. But then obviously you're hitting cakey territories at this point. And not a lot of people look like that. So for a $15 full coverage drugstore powder foundation, I'm pretty sold so far. I haven't done a full wear test, so once I do that, I'll let you guys know. But so far, like, it doesn't look like I'm not wearing no makeup on that side anymore, so it's good. Okay, so there we have it. We have now completed the 10-year challenge. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing me 10 years ago and seeing me now. Which one do you like better? 10-year-old Kevin, or 10-year-old Kevin, 13-year-old Kevin, or 23-year-old Kevin? I like 23-year-old Kevin just because it's full glam, and I find 23-year-old Kevin to be a lot more confident than this Kevin. This Kevin might have been a little scared, okay, a little bit insecure, but circumstances were different back then. I was in a very, very negative part in my life back then, and now I'm on to bigger and better things. So if you guys like this video, definitely sound off below. I know this video has been a little late, I apologize. I'm getting into the routine of things and trying to figure everything out, but I do appreciate all of your love, every one of my supporters out there and my followers. I truly, truly love you guys. You guys have been amazing support, and here's to the future. So leave a like and a subscribe down below if you're new. If you're not new, leave a like anyways. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye now.